Adeleke Vela.
The Excellency, the only Jackson.
This thing will be that's so.
Come and network. Everybody look here. 1, 2, 3.
Something very interesting is happening in Nigeria politics. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has won re-election, defeating the APC candidate. But shortly after that victory, Adeleke traveled to Abuja. Hello and welcome to EBD World. If today is your first day here, thanks for joining us. Like and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for more updates. Adeleke met with President Bola Tinubu. Then he went and met with Minister Nyesom Wike. And after the meeting, Wike made a statement that deserves serious attention. He said Adeleke is part of an emerging rainbow coalition supporting Tinubu ahead of the 2027 presidential election. So what exactly is going on? Is Adeleke quietly moving towards Tinubu? And what does this mean for the 2027 election? Let's break it down. Adeleke's position is very interesting. First, remember this. Adeleke just defeated the APC in Osun State. He contested under the Accord Party, not the APC, and secured another term as governor. Yet, after winning, he publicly reaffirmed his support for President Tinubu's 2027 re-election. That tells us something important. Adeleke appears to be saying, I can remain politically independent in Osun State while supporting Tinubu nationally. And that distinction could become extremely important in 2027 because supporting Tinubu doesn't necessarily mean joining the APC party. Then comes Wike. This is where things become even more interesting. Wike himself remains a PDP politician, but he is also one of Tinubu's strongest political allies in the federal government. Now Wike is talking about a rainbow coalition. Politicians from different parties coming together around Tinubu, and Adeleke appears to fit perfectly into that model. He doesn't have to join APC. He doesn't have to abandon his political structure. He can remain where he is while supporting Tinubu for president. That could actually be more useful to Tinubu than simply recruiting another APC member. Why? Because Adeleke has just demonstrated that he can win an election outside the APC umbrella. He has an established political structure and influence in Osun State. If that structure becomes friendly towards Tinubu in 2027, Tinubu gains politically without necessarily having to absorb Adeleke into APC. What does this mean for other parties? This could be a serious problem for other opposition parties, and the danger may not necessarily be mass defections. The bigger danger is fragmentation. Imagine several opposition politicians remaining in their respective parties and supporting Tinubu as their presidential candidates. Technically, they are still opposition politicians, but they are no longer part of a united opposition presidential campaign. That could make it extremely difficult for the opposition parties to build a strong challenge against Tinubu, and this may be exactly what Wike's Rainbow Coalition is designed to achieve. Not necessarily to force everyone into APC, but to bring politicians from different parties into the same presidential camp. What does Adeleke get from this? Adeleke also has something to gain. As governor of Osun State, he needs a functional relationship with the federal government. Federal projects, infrastructure, security, cooperation, and access to Abuja. So, maintaining a strong relationship with Tinubu makes political sense. At the same time, Adeleke can tell his supporters that he remains their governor and has not abandoned his political identity. It is a delicate balancing act, but for now, it appears to be working. And what about Wike? Wike may actually need Adeleke just as much as Adeleke needs Wike. Why? Because Wike needs credibility beyond the APC. Adeleke gives him exactly that. Here is a governor who has just defeated APC in an important election, yet is prepared to work with Tinubu. That allows Wike to argue that the emerging Tinubu coalition isn't simply an APC project. It can include politicians from across the political spectrum, and that is potentially a much bigger political strategy. The big question for 2027. I don't think the biggest question is, will Adeleke join APC? I think the bigger question is, can Tinubu build a coalition of politicians who remain in different parties but support him for president? If the answer is yes, the political consequences could be enormous because Tinubu won't necessarily need every opposition politicians to defect. He would simply need enough of them to refuse to unite behind a single opposition candidate, and that could fundamentally change the 2027 election. In conclusion, when you look at Adeleke's meeting with Wike, don't look only at the handshake or the photographs. Look at the political structure behind it. Adeleke has won Osun State election outside the APC umbrella. Wike remains in PDP but supports Tinubu, and Wike is openly talking about a growing rainbow coalition for 2027. That is why this meeting may be much more significant than it first appeared. The 2027 battle may not simply be APC versus other political parties. It may be a battle over who can build the biggest political coalition. And if Wike succeeds in bringing more opposition politicians into Tinubu's orbit without requiring them to join APC, then Adeleke would be one of the early examples of what that new political model looks like. So what do you think? Is Adeleke simply playing smart politics by maintaining relationship with everyone? Or is he gradually becoming part of Tinubu's 2027 political machine? Because the road to 2027 has already begun. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Let your comments be civilized, constructive, no insults, no pointing of fingers, and no accusations. Like and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for more updates. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Until then, bye for now.